Senator Hirono.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Congratulations to each of you. To ensure the fitness of nominees before any of the committees on which I sit, I ask the following two initial questions, so we will just go right down the line, starting with Judge Kasabai. Since you became a legal adult, have you ever made unwanted requests for sexual favors or committed any verbal or physical harassment or assault of a sexual nature?
No, Senator.
No, Senator.
No, Senator.
No, Senator.
No, Senator.
Have you ever faced discipline or entered into a settlement relating to this kind of conduct?
No, Senator.
No, Senator.
No, Senator.
No, Senator.
No, Senator.
For Judge Park, you spent the majority of your career working in the Office of the Public Defender for Hawaii. Public defenders play a vital role in the justice system by ensuring that all defendants, regardless of means, have their constitutional rights to counsel. Can you speak briefly to the importance of having strong prosecutors and defense attorneys in our adversarial justice system?
Thank you, Senator. The Sixth Amendment requires that there is a right to counsel, and the reason why that is so that there can be a balance of power with respect to these cases. Individuals who are charged with an offense are simply charged. The government has the burden of proof, and to prove that charge beyond a reasonable doubt. And it is necessary to have attorneys represent these individuals in order to hold the government to that high burden of proof that is required under the law. And so that is something that I did for 20 years. And I find that the right to counsel pursuant to the Sixth Amendment is vital in order to have a fair and just legal system.
For both you and Mr. Smith, parents can have a profound impact on our lives. Mr. Smith, your father immigrated to this country from Honduras. After completing seminary, he worked his way through college as a janitor and went on to earn a doctorate and become a professor. Judge Park, your father spent a long career on the Honolulu Police Force, rising to the rank of major and serving as president of the Police Officers Union. For both of you, how have your parents' experiences impacted your lives and your careers? And this includes your mother's, although I just mentioned your father's. Go ahead, Judge Park.
I had the honor of witnessing my father work hard as a Honolulu police officer. His example of public service is what drives me to this day. Growing up, I used to paddle canoe and didn't want to catch the bus home after being wet for so long, and would go to the Honolulu Police Department and sit until my father was ready to come home. But he was so dedicated to his job and doing the investigations that he did inspired me. And so he was vital to my decision to enter into the law. And my mom's support of him throughout his legal career was critical. My dad would not have been able to do the level of police work that he did without her love and support.
And he would agree with that.
And he would agree with that.
Mr. Smith.
Thank you, Senator. When you're fortunate, as Judge Park and I were, to have the kinds of parents we did, your parents help you see what's possible. Just watching their life stories, the things that they were able to do from where they started and where they ended up, makes it possible for their children to think the same thing. And I know that my siblings and I all feel that way. Since my father was already discussed a little bit, let me say just a few things about my mother. My mother became a Head Start teacher, a substitute teacher in public school. I remember having her in one of my classes at least once. And as a kid, that's always embarrassing. In the summers, she would sometimes work shifts at Kmart to help pay the bills. And I think when you see parents just dedicating themselves to helping their families do well, it teaches you those values.
In the brief time that I have left, again for both of you, Judge Park and Mr. Smith, Judge Park, you would be the first Native Hawaiian woman to serve in the federal district court. Mr. Smith, your father, as I said, is an immigrant from Honduras, and your mother is of Japanese ancestry. In my view, the judiciary should reflect the diversity of our nation, and both of you reflect the vibrant diversity of Hawaii. Could you just very briefly talk about why diversity is so important, as I assume it is important to each of you?
I think diversity is important, both personal and professional diversity on the bench, because a diverse bench represents the community that it serves. And when you have a diverse bench, it builds and brings integrity to the institution. And so I think it is very important.
Mr. Smith?
Thank you, Senator. I think diversity in its broadest sense is very important. And I do agree with Judge Park that when the community sees that the bench in all positions of public importance are open to everyone from all sorts of walks of life, backgrounds, perspectives, it promotes and ensures trust in those institutions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks, Senator Hirono. Senator Kennedy.